Sacramento approved it. Now the Obama administration is threatening California to take back $6 to almost $7 billion in stimulus money that California would have gotten unless they reinstate the cuts they made last February. You got that? Republican Congressman Brian Bilbray from California is with me now. And by the way, we reached out to the Service Employees International Union, the SEIU, to come on our show this morning. They did not respond. That invitation stands. We'd like to take them today or tomorrow, anytime they become available to us to shake down this issue. And, sir, good morning to you. We first reported on this Friday of last week, and here is what viewers need to understand. The federal government, after passing the stimulus plan, has guaranteed so many billions of dollars to each and every state. Your state alone is on the line to receive about $7 billion in money. But because of cuts of $74 million, a tiny amount, a tiny fraction that you made on the local level, Washington's saying you might as well kiss goodbye the $6 to $7 billion on the line. Now, from the perspective of California, trying to get your finances right and your budget numbers in order, what is the impact when the government, Washington, says you have to do what we say?
Well, I think the biggest impact is it shows that the so-called stimulus is not about helping. It's about control. It's about power. It's about Washington dictating. And it's also about payback for all the political support that was given in the last election by certain groups. And those groups now are using Washington to dictate what we should be doing to try to take care of our local budget. And I was a mayor. I was a chairman of San Diego County. It's tough balancing a budget during tough times, but that's what it takes if you're responsible. The trouble is this is literally punishing people for doing the right thing. Employees across San Diego County right now are accepting less to be able to maintain their jobs in the public sector, and now you got Washington bringing this kind of backroom deal right up front and saying, nope, we want you to continue as business as usual and keep driving yourself deeper into debt.
Do you think the White House would have this position if the cuts were not targeted at union workers?
Oh, I'm sure that there was this issue of the union payback. You just got to, this is Washington. This is not a politics of change. This is politics of usual. This is actually your typical Chicago tactic that those that support me in an election will get special treatment. But to ask the governor, to ask the state that has a balanced budget mandate now to abandon even the most menial kind of moderate cuts are just absolutely absurd. And what it is they really want to say that the answer to every fiscal problem is try to spin your way out of it. And how dare California try to balance the budget by reducing some of the overhead.
If you have this issue facing your state, what's the other 49 face?
Well, that's astonishing. You got to remember, we're the largest state. We've got an economy the size of Great Britain. And if Washington can dictate to Sacramento, then the people across this country ought to wake up to the fact that it can happen in your neighborhood, too. This is all about Washington wanting control, wanting to dictate, and using your tax dollars, using our own tax dollars as a way of making a leash around our necks and telling us what to do. Using our funds to mandate what we can do in our own states and our own communities.
The governor sent the White House a letter, Arnold Schwarzenegger, last Thursday saying, hey, man, cut us a break. We're trying to do what we can to dig ourselves out of our own hole. Now, are you going to have a choice, or are you going to have to listen to what the White House says?
I just tell you, I don't think there's a choice of going along with the White House. I mean, because once you give in to this group, what next group is going to cut a deal in Washington and then come back and force it? And what happened to the concept of, a democratically elected representatives and governors? They're now all expendable, and now we'll end up like we do in third world countries where, governors are nothing but a puppet of the centralized government and the presidents, and that the fact is the state legislators are nothing but puppets of a dictation coming from a centralized government in the federal capital. That's not what America's about. We're supposed to be about the fact that states have their jurisdiction, their responsibility, cities have their, and the great division of powers between federal, state, and local. And they're trying to destroy that. They're trying to centralize everything in Washington. Let me just tell you, as I said, I've been a mayor, but I've had to live in Washington over the last few years. There's nobody in America that's ever lived in Washington and wants their hometown run the way Washington is.
Well, Brian Bilbray, thank you for your time. And again, we have an invitation out to the union, the SEIU, and that invitation stands. We'd love to hear their perspective on this. And we hope to get to that someday this week as soon as they accept that. Brian Bilbray, thank you for your time out of San Diego.
Thank you very much.